and welcome to Chapter 30, and this is Learning Objective 3, I believe, where we're going to look at the classical dichotomy and what exactly does that mean. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. Okay, forgot to cue it up. Cue it up. Okay, so the classical dichotomy, we're actually going to do Objective 3.2 and 3.3 in an upcoming objective, but I did want to take a look at the classical dichotomy with you. Okay, so remember there's a difference between nominal variables, and remember we've said nominal variables have inflation in them, and real variables, which do not have inflation. It's like a physical count. So, yeah, I guess I'll just put physical count. Back in chapter, I believe, 24, we said that the nominal, anything nominal, is equal to the real plus inflation. Now, because money is what determines inflation, right? As the money supply increases, then we know that inflation increases. So one of the things we want to make clear in the classical dichotomy, and what the classical dichotomy means, is that inflation is the only part of this equation that changes as money increases. So if we have the money supply increasing, then inflation will increase, the nominal will increase. But notice that the real is remaining constant. So what does that mean? It means real variables, okay, are not susceptible to inflation. So they're not, these real variables are not impacted by inflation. We're going to come up with some examples of that in just a few moments, actually in our next objective. So this means there's a theoretical separation of nominal and real. And again, if economists use anything, they're going to use real because that tells the true story, because the nominal has inflation as part of it. Okay. So anytime we have changes in the money supply, either increasing or decreasing, which affect the value of a dollar and the price level, then what happens is it changes the nominal variables. But according to Hume and others, they don't affect real variables. So again, kind of coming back to our simplistic example we used before, in 2019, if you buy a dozen eggs, you have 12 eggs. And maybe the price of those eggs is $3.60. Then in 2020, you buy a dozen eggs, and the price of those eggs is $4.80. Now we can say, in looking at this, well, it looks like the nominal, right, value changed, and that's correct because it has this inflationary component in it. But when we segregate this out, we can see that we don't have any more eggs. So this would be the real, and this would be the nominal side. And what caused that increase in the price is inflation. Again, it's not completely realistic, but as I said, this is textbook land, and we kind of do kind of some of the variables of that, but it is correct in the long run. So that is the end of just a broad overview of the classical dichotomy. The classical dichotomy says that inflation or money only affects nominal variables. Often interesting, I look at barter. Okay, so why do economies go to a barter system when we have hyperinflation and things out of control? And it's because the real physical units don't change. They're immune to inflation. So if you think about Amish communities that do a lot of barter amongst themselves, they don't have inflation worries, only when they're trading in dollars. So that idea of commodity money and barter becomes kind of important in this classical dichotomy. I'll see you back in the next objective. Thanks.